Well, welcome back to the studio. Today I am working on a new piece. This is a rooster overlooking a field of bluebonnets at sunrise. So I showed you a picture of the full painting at the beginning, and now I'm this is a little bit, the perspective on this is a little bit skewed because I have the camera at an angle to the canvas, but that's how I have to do it so that you can see me paint. So I'm going to start on blocking in the bluebonnets, and I start back in the far back with some mixes of dioxazine purple plus ultramarine blue plus white, and then also just some pure dioxazine purple plus white. I like to just bring some purples back into my field of bluebonnets, and it gives a feeling of maybe some other different colored, different flowers back there, and just give a little variation so the field isn't entirely just blue. And I come back here, it's using a big brush, and I'm coming back here underneath this tree because I'm going to let some of the light in that field show through the trunks. The leaves back there. So that dark of the tree's actually going to come down over that. And we get a little light here, because the sun is rising there, and so it's going to tip the tops of these flowers. So we get a little light back in here. I get real impressionistic with this. I'll come back and add greens in there, but right now I'm just getting my blues and purples in there. Then it's going to be darker here under the tree. And the light's coming, so this tree's going to cast a shadow out this way, and it's going to come. Just establish that. I'll put other colors in there, but just want to get where my shadow's going to be. Then I begin with bringing some ultramarine blue plus white in here. Didn't get all my color mixed up that I needed. Now I start bringing some of my blues in. And again, these wildflowers they mix back and forth, so you get blues and purples, different mixes of flowers back in there. Bring some of those blues into the shadow area. Just want to get this covered. Now as I move forward, I start using a mixture of cobalt blue plus white. Cobalt blue is a little more intense than the ultramarine blue, so that helps, it makes it come forward. As I come forward, I get these are actually a little darker. And I'm working around I'm going to have morning glories just rambling along the top of this fence rail. And I had washed those in with combinations of magenta plus liquid and dioxazine purple plus liquid. So that's dry now, and I want to kind of work around that color. So you'll see the bluebonnets through the vine. This is going to make a very cool, the coolness of all these blues in here really makes then the warmth and the sunrise really pop. And then the rooster is going to have a lot of warm colors on him, so he's really going to pop also. So this cobalt blue, and I've got a lot more work to do on this. Let me go ahead and start adding some of my greens back in there. Bring some darks in here. Flowers aren't all the same value. There's darks and lights and darker ultramarine blue plus white. Just that gives depth. And there's lots of ups and downs and variations. Now I need to get a little more white. I didn't put out quite enough. Let's get that. I use these Winsor Newton Winton oil colors, and these are in the big 200 ml tubes. And for my white, I use the soft mixing white. It's nice and buttery. The titanium white is a lot thicker and just more stiff. And so I really like this soft mixing white because it does make it really nice to mix your colors. And I like that the oil paints stay wet for a few days, and this mixing white, they stay very workable for several days. Some people like to work drier, but I like working the wet into wet. So I'm mixing a mixture here of phthalo blue plus white. And so this is again a very cool blue, and I get a little bit on the corner of my brush and I start adding some of that color back in there. You can see, even though this is a large brush, I can use that corner and make finer strokes. Just get some of those blues in here. And now I start bringing some of my greens, and these are some of the greens that I used in my oak trees. And this is phthalo blue plus cadmium orange plus white. And there's just lots of, again, even within the greens, there's lots of variations. And I just work the greens around the blue, because it's a matter of working back and forth. And this just gives gives the feeling of the depth of the greenery out there. I'm going to have some warm greens in here because again that rising sun is warming up the greens. And but this tree here causes a shadow, so the warmth of is just going to be in this area, radiates from the sun and comes out. Hope that makes sense. I'm not going to do a whole lot more in here because I'm going to have some leaves on these, on my morning glories, and I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be. So I've got my blues in there, but I'm not going to do too much more in that area. Some of that. Now I start defining the shapes of the bluebonnets with my lighter tones. Now, as I start moving over here, this is going to be darker in here, not as warm. Right now it just looks like a mishmash of colors, but this will actually all turn out to be bluebonnets. Now this is a cooler mixture because again I want the foliage to be a little bit lighter than my flowers. There's some darks in there where they go down in between, but the upper foliage is going to be a little bit lighter. Jack would say I just put a bunch of paint up there and smush it around. some darks into this part back in here. I'm going to paint out that one morning glory there. Bring some dark into this little corner here. Little texture of leaves. Again, these bluebonnets are kind of either a little more in the distance. You'll really get the detail on these morning glories in the front. These bluebonnets are more into the distance. Put a little more light coming in. It's that warmth. Doesn't look like much now, but this is blocked in. And I just thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. I appreciate all your questions. Always feel free to ask. And if you'd like to see the rest of the step-by-step process on this painting from start to finish, just visit my blog. The link is in the description below. It's also on the final frame of my video, the address is. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and just as you're out and about today, give somebody a big smile. You never know what's going on in their life, and that just may mean a whole bunch to them. So smile and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Makes you feel good too. Those smiles always make you feel good. So you take care. Thank you.